Hello, everybody. Here we are, WMNF. We are back. Before we begin the session today, I'd like to tell something about the subtitles. So, we are not English native speakers, so we speak the English we speak. We are doing the best we can. And the decision to do the channel in English is to reach a broader audience. But then, some of our friends and colleagues here in Brazil said, well, it would be helpful if we had some subtitles to be not so that we don't get so tired following the program. So we did, we habilitated the subtitles in English, and you can also press to translate to Portuguese. But they are generated automatically in YouTube because it is a hell of a work to subtitle manually, and we will not be able to do that. So we are using the automatic subtitles. So what I suggest is, if you don't need them, don't use them. If you need them, use them. But if you don't need it, it's complicated because the subtitles, they are sufficient, I think, but not really great. So it can be a bit confusing if you can't follow the English and you are at the same time working on the subtitles. But that's something I want to say because that's a novelty in the channel. And
Especially because we made our mistakes speaking English. So the
yeah.
mistakes will be translated, transcribed.
Oh yeah, but also because the automatic subtitle softwares, they are trained by native English speakers. So they are better at this than trying to make automatically for non-native English speakers. So it means that the artificial intelligence, the neural network that's underlying the automatic subtitles, they make more flaws when you have non-native English speakers. So that's understandable by the way these programs work. But okay, but let's go. So I'm hosting today. I'm bringing something entirely new to this channel. We have been playing progressive rock all the time, yeah. But today, we are Brazilian. I'm bringing some Brazilian popular music. And what I'm bringing today is, for me, one of the top three best albums that was ever made in Brazilian music, which is 1972, Clube da Esquina, the Corner Club, if we want to translate into English, which was made by this collective that was called Clube da Esquina. So this is a collective where the central figure would be Milton Nascimento, a very well-known composer and singer, a fantastic singer, great composer. And Milton was already famous because in 1967 he has his first album, which is already very successful. And the other of the people who would be composing Clube da Esquina, they will not be so famous as Milton Nascimento, but they are deep friends. So they are coming from Minas Gerais, and we have this specific trend in Brazilian popular music that comes from Minas Gerais, which is a state in the center of Brazil, not connected to the sea. And it's called General Mines because that's where the gold mines, the diamond mines were during the mining exploration in Brazil during colonial times. And Minas Gerais is a very special state with very special kind of music that we call música mineira, music from Minas Gerais. And they have a very incredible style. They are very influenced by music from other parts of Brazil, like Northeast region of Brazil, where I live, but it's also very influenced by Beatles, by British music. So it's really a great mix, very original. And this album was recorded by a collective of friends. And that's important because I think a lot of the quality of the album is because you have friends playing together and they are having a great time in a house in the countryside in the state of Rio de Janeiro, exchanging instruments. So there are descriptions of the sessions for this recording, and it was really incredible descriptions of how they were really enjoying themselves being together. And it was something like here I have a composition, then someone would bring a composition to the studio, and people would start grabbing the instruments and start playing. So it was growing so natural. And then you have all the music, all the people participating, not all, but most of the people participating in the album are from Clube da Esquina, and they're exchanging instruments, swapping instruments in one track. Someone plays the guitar, the other track, the same person play the bass. So it's a great, great, great recording. And I think really the quality of this recording has a lot to do with how these sessions took place. So
Yes, it's not an independent album. It's an album uh, recorded by EMI, a great
yeah,
uh,
exactly, exactly.
company that made album for great artists in Brazil. And I have a curiosity about the interaction about the composition, the musician, the who play what, because Milton Nascimento, few people know about that. He was a bass player,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and and Girassol da Flor dos Seus Cabelos is a name, a title of one of the songs in the album. Was played with by Lo Borges, but in a bass, in an instrument bass that was Milton that Milton Nascimento owned the
Okay,
bass.
didn't know that. Didn't
What
know that.
was yeah,
Didn't know
yes,
that.
is a beautiful bass. Yes,
Yeah, and that was a double
so
bass, yes, upright bass that Milton Nascimento played, acoustic
no,
upright
no,
bass.
yeah, yes,
He
yes,
played
but
that.
the instrument that he uh, put in the album is electric
It's
bass.
electric bass by Milton Nascimento. Great, great.
He also play electric bass, but originally he played used to play upright bass.
Yeah. Many of these stories you can find in something we will place in the description of the video. It's a program, it's a two programs in a TV show called O Som do Vinil, The Sound of the Vinyl, with Milton Nascimento and Charles Gavin, who is the drummer of a great Brazilian band called Titãs, and they tell all these stories. I tested the subtitles in English; they are quite good, and in this way our Brazilian friends and colleagues will have a program in Portuguese to see. But okay, let's begin. So I'm proposing a tour de force. I'm proposing the first three tracks of the album because I
Oh,
think these first three tracks they get prepare you to the feeling of the whole album. But look, you need to listen to this whole album. If you don't know, stream it, buy it, have it, dig it. It's a great album. You should listen the whole album. But it's a
I
double vinyl album, so we will not play the whole album here.
I have to say, for me personally, is the best album made in Brazil
Yeah,
history.
I thought about saying that, but I said I better be more modest and say it's one of the top three. But I thought exactly saying that for me is the best
Yes,
album.
I like so much. I like so much.
Yeah,
By the way, I didn't know that you was bringing this
I
today.
know.
It's a surprise to me.
I
So,
kept it
Charbel,
as a secret.
thank you very much. I'm very happy.
Yeah, yeah. So let's begin with the first track of the album. It's called Tudo que você podia ser. Translated to English, everything that you could have been. So we tell a little about this track and the lyrics after playing it. But buckle up, you need it. That's that's really fantastic music that you are going to listen now. Let me share here. And I have always something to do. Put the video panel here. I'll put us in a smaller size because then we don't have some gray things that Zoom put in the recording. So let's go. Prepare yourselves.
Com sol e chuva, você sonhava que ia ser melhor depois. Você queria ser o grande herói das estradas, tudo que você queria ser. Sei um segredo, você tem medo. Só pensa agora em voltar, não fala mais na porta e no anel de sapata, tudo que você devia ser. Sem medo. Não se lembra mais de mim, você não quis deixar que eu falasse de tudo que você podia ser. Na estrada. Ah, sol e chuva na sua estrada, mas não importa, não faz mal. Você ainda pensa e é melhor do que nada, tudo que você consegue ser. Oh, nada. Não importa, não faz mal. Você ainda pensa e é melhor do que nada, tudo que você consegue ser. Oh, nada.
Wow, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I have a propose. I think we can play two songs today. It's
Yeah?
not. I
Not
think
free.
so.
You think so?
I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I agree with that because I'm playing the free one. But before
Fifth,
we take this out, that's the cover of the album, by the way, and it's
yes.
obviously showing two boys that look like Milton Nascimento and Lo Borges, and they because the album is Clube da Esquina, but the names that appear as the creator of the albums are Milton Nascimento and Lo Borges, and I will tell a story why they are there in the cover. So the idea is that the cover represent them as kids.
And the picture was took in a road in Nova Friburgo, Rio de Janeiro, not Minas
I
Gerais.
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think this song
So I have to say that the Nova Friburgo is very near from Minas Gerais.
yeah, it's
It's
very
not
near. It's close to the frontier between Rio de
it's
Janeiro and Minas Gerais.
uh,
Yeah.
it's not country city in Rio de Janeiro that is in the frontier with Minas Gerais.
Yeah, this song is always very touching to me because it is about what we dream as a teenagers, about what we might become as adults, and then you compare what you might have become with what you have become indeed. So it's a very reflexive track on how fear can make you deviate from what you pretended to be. And then in the end, you accept with resignation what you became and say, because that's better than nothing. So I like to tell something about the lyrics because the lyrics are in Portuguese, and it would be great if people who are not Portuguese speaker can get what the lyrics are saying. So the lyrics run like that. With sun and rain, you dreamed that you would be better later. You want to be the great hero of the roads, everything that you could have been. I know a secret. You are afraid. You only think now about coming back. Doesn't talk anymore about Zapata, the Mexican revolutionary, boots and ring, everything that you could have been without fear. And you don't remember me anymore. You didn't allow me to talk of everything, everything you could have been on the road. There is sun and rain in your road, but it doesn't matter. It's all right. You still think, and that's better than nothing. Everything that you managed to be, or nothing. So it's a great lyric. It's a great lyric.
It's a Shakespearean ending.
Yeah. It's a great lyrics. So
Yes.
every time I hear this track, and every time, and I heard this track hundreds of times, every time keeps me thinking about my life. It's very reflective. It gets into a reflexive mood immediately. And you know that I don't remember if these lyrics are from Fernando Brant or Ronaldo Bastos or Márcio Borges. But the Clube da Esquina had three lyric writers. But these three guys I mentioned, they were
Lo Borges and Márcio Borges.
Márcio
Lo
Borges.
Borges and
So
Márcio
yeah.
Borges.
So that's the idea about the corner club, the Clube da Esquina, is because were all friends in Belo Horizonte, the capital of Minas Gerais, and they would meet to play in the Borges house. And then you have Marilton Borges, Lo Borges, and Márcio Borges. So that's the Borges family. And the Borges family was welcoming all these young kids there to be playing together. So that was called Corner Club. And the story about this album is amazing how it ended up happening, because Lo Borges, who signed the album with Milton Nascimento, is younger. He's the younger brother of the Borges. And Milton Nascimento then is older, is another generation. And then for Milton Nascimento, Lo Borges is just a kid because he was there with his brothers playing, and he was a kid playing around. Then once he comes back from a tour, goes to the Borges house, is usually uh, was he would usually go there when he was in Belo Horizonte, and then he enters and only Lo Borges is there. And then says, "Where is everybody? Yeah, so let's go down and let's drink something." And then Milton Nascimento asks for a beer, and Lo Borges asks for a beer too. And then Milton look at him, "Come on, you're drinking a beer. You are a boy." And then Lo Borges said, "No, I'm 19 years old, 19 years old." So he drinks a beer with Milton Nascimento. And then Milton says that then he realized he was not a kid, he was not a kid anymore. And then he starts talking to Lo Borges on a different level, because not as a kid. And then Lo Borges tells him, "I'm composing some songs. Do you want to hear them?" And he says, "Yeah, sure." They go back to the apartment, and Lo Borges starts playing some tracks like Clube da Esquina, like o Girassol da Cor do Seu Cabelo, amazing tracks. And then Milton gets a acoustic guitar too, and they both start playing and singing together and get into a complete out of the world mood. They are simply there, completely immersed in the music. And then everybody comes to the house, opens the door, and these are the two of them there, completely in a trance playing together. And so that's the story. And then Milton says, "Well, no, Milton was already well known. Nobody knew who Lo Borges was. Lo Borges was a 19 years old boy in Belo Horizonte." And then Milton says, "We should do an album together. So let's take our friends, let's take our people, let's go to some place where we played." And Milton arranged this with MI, with the recording company. They go to this house in the countryside of Rio de Janeiro. I think it's nearby Niterói. And then they go there to play. And that's where the album comes from. And a final story about this is that as Lo Borges is younger, most of the people they are bringing to Rio, they are really they're closer to Milton because they're older people. And then Lo Borges says, I need to take one of my pals here, one of my friends, so that I'm not there alone. And then he gets Beto Guedes with him. And then Beto
Sorry.
Guedes, what you did, you spilled all over your computer and you need to buy a new one.
Almost.
So, so then Beto Guedes goes, and Beto Guedes is really fundamental in this album too. And that's how the album happens. So it's I think it's an incredible story. Let's go for the second track. The second track in the
Yes,
album is
but
O
I, I
Cais.
I I think it's important to say that here in Brazil we can drink a beer with 19
Oh
years
yeah,
age.
it's important to say
Uh,
that. It's true, it's true.
it's legal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
legal.
that's important. I think in Europe and the US it's 21 years of age, but in Brazil it's 18. So they were doing
Yes.
nothing illegal. But it's funny how Milton didn't realize that the guy was not a boy anymore, was already coming to become an adult. So let's go to the second track in the album. The second track is called
Yes.
Quay in English. Cais in Portuguese, in English, Quay.
Okay. You already chose. Okay.
No,
Let's go.
it's the sequence.
It's
That's
the sequence.
exactly the sequence in the album. That's the second track
Okay. But
after.
it's a beautiful song. It's written by Milton Nascimento and Ronaldo Bastos.
Yeah.
Has 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so it's okay to
Yeah.
put the song. I would like Girassol da Cor do Seu Cabelo, but it's a 40-minute song. So
Yeah, let's bring this to another session. I'm thinking of playing the three first tracks of the album because they are short tracks. Also, that was one of the reasons. Let me ask you something, Francisco, because Chico, because there was some message by Zoom, so we shared okay here.
everything
The window
is all
shared
right here.
is all right. Okay. So let's play.
It,
Cais in English, way.
Para quem quer se soltar, o invento cais,
Naná morreu.
invento mais que a solidão
Didn't know that.
me dá.
Naná Caymmi is died, and she
Invento a nova clarear,
recorded this song
invento
very
amor
beautifully.
e sei a dor de me lançar. Eu queria ser feliz. Invento o mar, invento em mim o sonhador. Para quem quer me seguir, eu quero mais. Tenho o caminho do que sempre quis e um saveiro pronto pra partir. Invento cais e sei a vez de me lançar.
What a end, so beautiful, man.
That's Eumir Deodato, yeah?
I don't
The
know.
the composition, the
Não,
composition.
the composition,
No, no, the whole
Milton
composition.
Nascimento e Ronaldo Barros.
No, I know. I'm talking about this ending part is an arrangement by Elmir Deodato. Just the
Oh,
ending part.
nice.
Just the ending part. It's amazingly beautiful. Yeah.
Who died too recently?
Elmir Deodato
Not
died. I didn't know. You got me a
Nana
goosebumps because
Caymmi.
you said Nana Caymmi, Nana Caymmi. I thought you
Nana
were
Caymmi,
talking
sorry.
about Nana Vasconcelos.
I'm
You said Nana died. And so Nana Vasconcelos died. But you said
Nana
Nana Caymmi died.
because in English is Nana.
Yeah.
Nana Vasconcelos.
Yeah.
But
What I
he is Nana here too.
yeah. What
Uh,
I think é that Quay Kais follows quite nicely from Tudo Que Você Podia Ser is because it is like you have all this reflexive song about what you might have been in your life, but you are afraid and you didn't become. Then you accept the resignation that you are what you can be, which is better than nothing. And then you go to these Kais, which is it's like an invitation to let go. I think that's how I understand it. It's an invitation to reinvent yourself. So if I can translate the lyrics, Chico, the lyrics are for those who want to let loose, I invent the quay. I invent more than what solitude gives me. I invent new moon to enlighten. I invent love and I know the pain of letting me go. I wanted to be happy. I invent the sea. I invent the dreamer in myself. For those who want to follow me, I want more. I have the way to what I ever wanted, and a schooner ready to go. I invent the quay, and I know that and it's now the turn to let me go, and I know the turn to let me go. So that's I think is about reinventing yourself. So when I listen to the two tracks, the first track gets me to this reflection about everything you fought to do in your life and you made part of them, the things others you didn't make, what role fear had on that. And now you find yourself in your present and that's your life. And you say, well, you might have been different, but that's better than not being here. But then you can always go somewhere else and you can reinvent yourself. So I think when I moved to Quay, to Kais, takes me this feeling of now let's go from here. Let's sail from here and do the better we can and reinvent ourselves. So I think the combination of the two lyrics and the two compositions is for me plays a fantastic role in every time I hear them.
It's a concept album.
It's the concept album, yeah.
There
We
is
didn't
a
say a lot about the
story.
musicianship, but in the first track, the acoustic guitars and the electric guitar are very central to the track. So
Toninho
there is
Horta,
Toninho Horta, exactly. He makes this beautiful guitar solo in the first track. We have great drumming by Robertinho Silva. And Beto Guedes is playing the bass in these two tracks, I think. And in Quay, it's very keyboard dominated. Yeah? And I
yeah,
think it's Wagner
in
Tiso, possibly the keyboard player.
in whole album, Beto Guedes play bass, except Toninho Horta play bass in song 5, 7, 19, and 20.
Yeah. And the keyboards are played by Wagner Tiso, I think, possibly, yeah.
Wagner Tiso play piano acústico almost
Acoustic
of the time.
piano.
Acoustic, sorry. Organ, most of the time organ, piano acoustic in many songs, and piano elétrico just in one song.
Electric piano, yeah. Great.
Sorry,
You are reading in Portuguese. That's why you're saying
yeah,
Portuguese.
yes,
That's the
yes,
issue.
yes.
Yeah, so most of the keyboards are played by this great keyboard player from Brazil, Wagner Tiso. And by the way, the same band that was supporting Milton Nascimento was also a progressive rock band called O Som Nosso de Cada Dia, which is an amazing band. No, it's not.
Uh,
It's not Som Nosso de Cada Dia. Som Imaginário, I think. Som Imaginário.
yes.
Yeah.
But I have news here. Eumir Deodato did not made the arrangement in the second song. He arranged 8, song 8, 11,
Oh,
and
okay.
16.
I was wrong on that. Yeah, I had this feeling, this remembers that was Eumir Deodato.
Paulo Moura was part of the album too.
Who is Paulo Moura? I don't know.
It's maestro,
Yeah.
maestro,
A conductor,
maestro,
maestro,
conductor,
a conductor.
maestro.
Yeah, I know. Now I see. I know who we're talking about. So, okay, so to complete the theme, let's go to the third and final track for today. It's called Blue Train, O Trem Azul in Portuguese. It's another
Oh,
incredible track, which the third track comes exactly after Cais.
but this is 4-minute songs, right? I
Yeah,
think
but we can. No, let's go. It's possible. Don't worry. We are speaking less than usual.
don't worry, be happy.
Let's go. Toninho Horta.
No Borges e Ronaldo Bastos, the music, the music, the song composition.
Coisas que a gente se esquece de dizer, frases que o vento vem às vezes me lembrar, coisas que ficaram muito tempo por dizer. Na canção do vento não se cansam de voar. Você pega o trem azul, o sol na cabeça. O sol pega o trem azul, você na cabeça. O sol na cabeça.
Beto Guedes on the bass.
Coisas que a gente se esquece de dizer, frases que o vento vem às vezes me lembrar, coisas que ficaram muito tempo por dizer. Na canção do vento não se cansam de voar. Você pega o trem azul, o sol na cabeça. O sol pega o trem azul, você na cabeça. O sol na cabeça.
Toninho Horta.
Toninho Horta, beautiful solo.
Você pega o trem azul, o sol na cabeça. O sol
mind. What an
Okay.
album. Let's talk about the importance of this album.
Yeah.
Because I said before that this is the best album made in Brazil for me. And you put in this way, at least around the three most important albums made in Brazil.
The
I
top
agree
three
with
best.
you. I agree with you because I love the album from Novos Baianos. I forget the name of the album. Please help me.
It's not os Novos Baianos.
No, 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 no. Acabou
Adeus
chorar.
Chorare. What?
Acabou chorar. Acabou chorar.
Adeus Chorare, não?
Acabou chorar.
Acabou Chorare. Acabou
Acabou
Chorare. It's
chorar.
amazing. Yeah.
Is great.
It's very
album.
good. It's very good. Yeah.
And another one is one that Tom Jobim recorded with Elis Regina, Tom e Elis.
Yeah, it's amazing album too. It's hard to pinpoint the three best because now I thought of dozens of albums that are fantastic.
But I have an argument to defend that this album is the most important to me because I love rock and roll. I really start loving music a lot. I already play some instruments and like music, but I really start loving music because of the rock and roll. And these guys love Beatles.
Yeah, but O Trem Azul is a Beatlesque sing-along song for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yes. So this is why for me it touch more in my heart
I see.
than the another ones. But
Well, yeah.
there
I
are many
have
great albums
I have
as
kind of the same feeling because the song from the music from Minas Gerais, they are perfectly Brazilian music. It's incredibly Brazilian, but they were incredibly good in making this combination with the rock and roll influences.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not so and it's not sound like British bands.
No, not at all. Not at all.
There is
Not
a
at all.
flavor that's just Minas Gerais has that
Exactly.
for who's that don't know Brazil well, Minas Gerais is the center between Bahia, where Caetano Veloso, Gilberto Gil is from, João Gilberto.
It's incredible powerhouse of music in Brazil.
Yeah, we have São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, all the states don't touch each other, but everyone touch Minas.
Exactly.
Touched by everyone. There is a special flavor in.
But here in São Paulo, they have a frontier.
Yes. But not with Bahia.
Not with Bahia. Bahia is from the north. I agree because there is some synthesis that they made between their song has so many influence from Latin American music from the other countries in Latin America. Have a lot of influence from Brazilian music from all around the country and the influence by British music. And they put all together in the blender and they get something that doesn't sound like any of the sources, completely original, but you get the feelings. You get the feelings. And this song, O Trem Azul, the Blue Train, the lyrics are basically made for the song. So they chose the words that fit the song. And the song is incredible instrumentation. Yeah? You see the guitars are amazing.
Great bass line.
Great bass line by Beto Guedes. Beautiful,
it's
beautiful.
An animal playing bass in the song.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Great.
Then you have that guitar solo by Toninho Horta in the middle. By the way, we didn't stop the track at all, so we listened to all of this. I hope the video can pass through the copyright issues in YouTube because it didn't stop. And we played 3 tracks of the album. Let's see what happens. But we played everything from the official channels of Milton Nascimento and Lo Borges, where I suggest really that people listen to the rest of the album because it is an experience. It's a concept album, as Chico said, and is that the full experience is to listen to all of the album from the beginning to the end. It was 2 vinyls, but now it's only one compact CD, one CD only. Yeah.
I am so excited doing this now, especially because I didn't know that we are talking about this album. And I would like to help me with expression that make define the atmosphere
The atmosphere of the
of
album.
the flavor of the Clube da Esquina, that is brejeiro.
Come on.
It sounds
You want,
brejeiro.
you want me to help with something that's almost untranslatable.
Yes,
I
because
thought
I
you were
can.
coming with some idiomatic expression that I could remember. Brejeiro. Oh, come on.
Yes, but let me try.
Okay, right.
It's about people that is so simple and related in a telluric experience with
Very
your
related to the earth, to the
the
land. I
earth,
see, I see.
And I think that the cover bring that to
Yeah,
us,
yeah, yeah.
and I can feel that
That's interesting. That's interesting.
hear the sound.
That's
But it
interesting. I see.
but it has this element. I think it's a mineiro
Okay, okay, I get it.
element,
I see,
but
see.
is at the same time is so sophisticated composition,
Yeah.
songs, melodies, harmonies. So it's it's
That's
special.
interesting. It is very sophisticated. You got
Very
something in your description that I never thought about this album, so it's a novelty to me. It's very connected to the ground. It's very down to earth, connected to
it's
the ground.
telluric.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
telluric.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting because I work with fishing communities and communities from riverine communities, and one of the characteristics of their way of living and seeing the world is that they are really connected to nature. So one fisherman we work with, the great Seuges, told us once, when someone cuts a mangrove tree, it cuts a part of my body. And it was not a figure of language. He was saying, well, I am what the mangrove makes me. And so I'm completely linked to the mangroves. And that's the kind of feeling you are describing. And I never connected to this album. But I see your point. I need to listen to the album today with this feeling because
I
you gave me a new perspective on the album, which I think is really meaningful. But I don't remember ever participating in my relation to this album. So thanks for renewing the experience of listening the album to me.
I don't know if I translate well what I'm feeling about this, but yes, I always feel about that. Not just this specific album, Clube da Esquina, but in a solo album of the Bad Gads, the Milton Nascimento. I feel that in some songs of the 14 Bis, that is a band here
From
in
Minas
Brazil,
Gerais too. Yeah.
just from Minas Gerais too, and
More progressive rock band. It's great, very good
pro-
progressive rock band. 14
yes,
Bis.
and they all are friends. Even the Skunk, that is a pop band from Minas, there is one album specifically that they have this feeling, this vibe,
See.
they dedicated to make songs that, okay, we are from Minas.
Yeah, I
Let's
see. I see your
let
point.
and
I see your point. One characteristic, I always get along very well with people from Minas Gerais. Always. It's amazing. I really like their mood and their way of being. So it's great. So for people, sorry, for people who don't speak Portuguese, here is the lyrics of the Blue Train, o Trem Azul. It's funny because the lyrics are just playing with the words. As I said, certainly these lyrics were made to fit the music. So they say, things that we forget to say, sentences that the wind makes me remember sometimes, things that were left unsaid for a long time. In the song of the wind, never get tired of flying. And then they go with the blue train. You get the blue train, the sun in your hand, in your head. The sun gets the blue train, you in the head. The sun in the head, you get the blue train. The sun in your head, the sun gets the blue train, you in the head. That's the lyrics. So you see that it's just a play of words.
Yes, it's phenomenological lyrics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can feel, you can put yourself in their shoes about
Exactly,
what he's talking
exactly,
about.
exactly.
It's very, very good.
And it is a famous song to be played in the beach when people sit around the fire and someone gets an acoustic guitar and start playing and everyone starts to sing it. I don't know. I don't know now. I mean, perhaps it's a phenomenon from my generation, but Blue Train will always be there. O Trem Azul will always be there, and people would play this song. Because it's a very good sing-along song, yeah. So people get and everybody sings. So it's very
Yeah,
good for this kind of gathering. Yeah. So okay, I hope you enjoyed. It's the first time we play Brazilian music, our music from our country. We certainly play a lot, and I chose to bring this into this session because I thought, well, it's time we play some Brazilian music, and that's it. So how we brought Milton Nascimento, Lo Borges, and Clube da Esquina. I hope you enjoyed it. You can see from all our feelings and comments that we really love this recording. So it's was a great pleasure to do this session of We MNF, where the masses meet the nerds and the freaks. Thank you for all your attention. Gives us a thumb up. Follow the channel, and it's a pleasure to be doing this. I hope you are enjoying too. Bye bye.
thank folks. That's all.